the man of the moment, the CEO, the president, and the founder of Maridady Motors. Tumshangilia kikuja. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You may have your seats. Thank you so much, Captain. And thank you so much, Jeremy. Jeremy became my brother from 2018-19 there when we started working together. But the problem is that he's a very tough brother. Because akipigiwa na customer, ambiwe kuna kaishi wakaende vizuri, anakupigia hata saa 6. So I think it is a good opportunity nimkumbushe Jeremy, I am a married man. Hata kama customer wako wamekasirika aje. Unajua mchana ikiingia tu hivi, mimi naanzana na kazi na naanza ku straighten mambo na watu wanafurahi. But all the same I appreciate. I know it is because you really care about the investments of the people in the diaspora, and we really appreciate. I am very honored to be here, and I want to say a big thank you to all of you from the bottom of my heart that I would come to a foreign land like this, invite you for a meeting, for dinner, and you show up. I really, really appreciate. I'm also very happy to meet people that are very sentimental to me. The lady who was called Mrs. Kuria, personally I call her mom. When I cleared college, she was one of the first people in my village to give me a job to manage the church circle. Let's appreciate her. And I want to appreciate her because that particular circle in my village has done so much work. I worked there. I still work there today as a member of their supervisory committee. And Mom, let me give you a report. I know by the time you came here, the circle was at around 150 million shillings. Right now, that circle is at 300 million shillings. Yeah. And we will continue to hold your flag high for the great job that you did. All my customers that are here, community leaders, I want to recognize all of you. The men of the clergy, men of God, I appreciate all of you. And generally all of you, I want to appreciate you before I begin my presentation. So my name is Eric Mwangi Ngigi. I am going to be 41 years old in the coming month of April 28th. And I am a father of 3. Yeah, I am married to one, Lois Mwangi, and we have 3 children. You know, when you're introducing that part of the family, you have to be careful because if you interchange the numbers, you know, you might end up saying I have 3 wives and 1 kid. Instead of saying I have 1 wife and 3 kids. So I have 1 wife and 3 kids. And I have been in the family journey for 14 years today. And I really thank God for that journey because it has a lot of lessons to teach us. And I like to say I am a social entrepreneur, both by calling and by training. So I've schooled. I did my bachelor's in a university called USIU. At USIU, I did psychology and marketing. And that is why the people that work with me closely will tell you that I am very much interested in human development as much as I'm interested in building enterprises. I've also schooled at Strathmore Business School, where I did a program called Owner Manager Program, where we are trained on how to create impactful businesses. How do you make sure that your business is not just about money, 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 that your business is making a difference in people's lives. I've also had an exchange program through Strathmore Business School at Lagos Business School. And my aspiration this year is to do an owner manager program offered here in the University of Harvard. And I know that when I do it, I will call you for a graduation if God enables me. Praise God. So today, I don't want to talk to you about money because I know how emotive that conversation can be. I want to present to you a conversation of economic opportunities available back home in the industry that I have been for the last 18 years, and that is the auto industry. Now, it is my conviction that we all understand that if you're going to make ethical money, if you're going to make money that you make on a moral ground, that you have not stolen from anybody, then you have to look for a solution to solve for other people, isn't it? The doctor makes money because a patient is sick, isn't it? And the teacher makes money because somebody is ignorant. Yeah? The pilot makes money because somebody wants to move from point A to point B. Okay? For us to make money, we must ask ourselves what problems are available for us to solve. Now, in 2019, I happened to visit India. Some of our technology in the company is supported by an Indian company called Excellent Web World. And while I was there, I met a very, very wealthy person in India who has invested both in technology and manufacturing. And we are talking about somebody who has a technology company in India that has employed about 7,500 people. Not being told, you're taken into a building, high-rise building, every floor of that building has employees of this gentleman. And I asked him, what is the one thing that you would tell me as a young man about money and about business? And he told me one thing that I want to tell you. He told me money works like the chakobana. Unajua ile jiko ya makaa? So he asked me a very simple question. How do you put off the jiko? How do you put off the chakobana? And the ladies who are here will tell you that the easiest way to put off a chakobana, there are many things you can do. Kama uko na fujo, unaweza mwagilia maji. Kama uko na fujo kubwa, unaweza ipiga mateke, isn't it? There are many things you can do. But one of the easiest ways of putting off a chakobana is to spread the charcoal, isn't it? When you spread the charcoal, each charcoal independently goes off. And he told me that when money is distributed, it goes off just like the charcoal burner. But when you bring money together, that money is powerful and that money can do greater things than it will do in different pockets. And if you look at the way the charcoal burner works, it is only able to cook when you bring the hot charcoal together, isn't it? I mean, huwezi wekelea sufuria yako makaa moja hapa, ipoe, utoe hapo, uwekelee ingine, ipoe. Do you think you're going to cook anything? You're not going to cook. But he told me, the problem is that money is with people, because that's how he had built his manufacturing business and his technology business, by bringing people together, people that gave him the money to work with. He told me, the task of you as a young entrepreneur will be to convince people to trust you with their charcoal. And if you can convince people to trust you with their charcoal, then you can be able to cook. But people will not trust you with their charcoal if they are not sure that you will cook food that you will share with them, isn't it? So my conversation here today is to show you food that we can cook, because we have hungry people back home, and how we can be able to share that food. So we've been in business for more than 15 years. I got into this business of motor vehicles very, very young. And so far we have been able to deliver more than 5,000 cars. Thank you. And I'm happy because some of the people we have delivered vehicles to are in this room. And I'm sure Jeremy will give them the mic at the end of the presentation to say something. If you are to work with the average price of one vehicle, of 1 million shillings for the cars, it means that over the years, as a business, we have handled money on behalf of people that is equivalent to over 5 billion shillings. And I want to thank God, because throughout those people, I can stand here in front of the cameras, and I know people are watching me at home, and tell you that as a business, we have no single lawsuit from a customer who can say that I gave them money and they did not deliver. Because we have followed through to make sure that we deliver on our promises. So these are some of images of customers that we are giving vehicles to. Yeah, some of them are here from in the diaspora. I'm extremely excited about Mom, the one in yellow, because her story is very different. She called me a few years back and told me, I plan to retire in 3 years, and I would want to start paying for my vehicle. And she paid for her vehicle pole pole until the day she got to the target that she wanted. And she told me, this is the vehicle I want you to bring for me. I'm very happy to confirm that that vehicle was delivered by Jeremy himself to the customer back in Kenya. And I will tell you that one of the people that I have identified that as a country and as a business, we must focus on how we are going to serve them are our people that are going on retirement. Yeah, because truth be told, our countries are not aging friendly, isn't it? Businesses are not focused on serving our senior citizens. Yeah, but they have rights to be served. And the good thing is that they have served the country before. They have served the younger generation, they have educated us, and it is only fair that as businesses we focus on how we can be able to serve them. So our business is broad, but I just want to show you this table because it creates a picture in your mind on what the Maridady group does. So originally, on that side, we started only as a car dealership. We were only interested in buying and selling cars, importing and selling vehicles back home. But we normally say in the school of business that as you lead your business, the business gets to a point where it starts to lead you to other problems that you can be able to solve. And so we identified that we had so many people that wanted to be financed vehicles. They wanted vehicles on credit. Some of these people are young men. We will try and play some testimonials at the end. These are young men who cleared college, cleared university. They want to start off the economic journey maybe by buying a taxi. But when they go to the bank, you all know that our banks in Africa are, we normally say that our credit systems are land-based. If you don't have land, nobody is willing to start by giving you a loan, isn't it? But those kids have mothers, have fathers, have uncles who are willing to bet on them by giving them a deposit so that they can go and buy a taxi and start working. And for them, we created Maridady Motor Circle so that we are able to give them in-house finance just by giving them an opportunity to save 50%, 30%, or 40% of the value of the car, and we give them that vehicle to go and work with. And I want to confirm to you, and I'll be doing the AGM for our circle on this month before the end of April. Right now, we have 1,350 members in the circle. Those are people that have registered saying, I aspire to own a car and I'm saving towards it. But look, our circle only focuses on giving cars. So we are sure that every member in our circle is not interested in anything else. They are interested in owning a vehicle. And that is a problem that somebody who has idle money seated somewhere can help us solve. Why? Because our members of the circle are not saying, give me a car for free. They're saying, give me a car, I am willing to return your money and return it with an interest. So it becomes mutual. They benefit because they get a vehicle on credit, but you also benefit because the interest they pay on the money is what we pay you as an investor so that you have your money working for you. But what excites me the most is not the money and the transactions in it. It is the testimonials, and we will try and play 2 of them by the end of the day. It is the testimonials that I hear from those young men when we give them the vehicles. Because we can keep making noise that our young men are hopeless back home. But unless we empower our young men to earn and our young women to earn, how are we going to deal with the hopelessness? Because all men and women derive their dignity and significance by having a sense of economic independence in their lives, isn't it? So it's not just about the money, it's also about the economic transformation that we are able to offer. So we have an investment cooperative, and the investment cooperative is the vehicle we use to mobilize money that we now go and use to lend our members in the circle, that we now use to import vehicles that we sell, that we are going to sell, and that we are going to lease. And that is where we will be interested in you to plug in if you have money that you want to invest. If you want to get a car on credit, also you can join our circle, and we are going to give you a vehicle on credit. We have a driving school that has 5 branches in Kenya. We have a branch in Karen, a branch in Thika, a place called Anana's Mall, a branch in Nakuru, Ruaka, and we have another branch at Ridgeways, where we have our headquarters. And the good thing is that our driving school is fully funded by people in the diaspora. How? They buy us vehicles, and we pay them for the vehicles on a monthly basis. Are we together? And that means now we have a business model that we can expand for as far as the need goes. Because it's not depending on the money that Eric has. It is depending on the fact that we are able to build trust, bring people together, and make them think along one line, and we are going to solve a problem in the country. Now, the driving school is an important tool to me as a social entrepreneur, because with it, I get young men to listen to us. Because as they come to do driving, we can teach them other things. And because young men love driving, they're going to listen to us, isn't it? So we have an opportunity now to tell them in our driving course, we have to teach you the dangers of drugs and alcohol. In our driving course, we have to remind you that we want you to get married and have children. So that you're not just learning how to drive a car, you're also learning how to drive yourself. And this year, we have applied for a license from the government. We hope to get it by June. That will help us run a Rotary. That is going to help us sponsor our young men to join our driving academy, so that we can offer them not just driving courses, but also, psychosocial lessons on life in general. And we are going to use it as a tool to transform a lot of young men. Now, we run a car care business, it's a car wash, but we try to make it a bit high-end, because one of the things I discovered from my wealthy customers, I have wealthy customers, by the way, back home. Just last week, I released a vehicle to somebody worth 30 million shillings in Kenya. Okay? Now here's the problem. Like, true story. If you want the photos, I can show you. I just won't tell you who. But I could show you the vehicle, I could show you the import documents and everything. Now here's the problem. My wealthy customers, when they buy vehicles, they don't want to clean them at the river.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to give a 30 million shillings vehicle or even a 5 million shillings vehicle to any car wash. So there was a complaint, and we saw an opportunity. But we didn't have, again, the money to set up modern car washes. I talked to one lady in Baltimore. I told her, look, we have an opportunity, this was in 2019, to start car wash businesses and differentiate them by offering quality services. And we got one site at Ridgeways. It's about 700 meters from our headquarters. She gave us the money. She gave us $35,000. And we started the car wash. If you come to Kenya, I'll take you, you see. For me, I don't sell briefcase business. If you come with a dirty car, I will clean it for you. Today, that single branch, and right now we have 6 branches and we have 2 under construction. That single branch employs 30 young men and women. And the last time she visited me, she told me, even forget about the profit that you're giving me. My greater joy is to see that this money of mine is actually keeping these young people at work. Are we together? It might look like a small, dirty business, but let me tell you, my data, this business supported us a lot during COVID. Because during COVID, people are very paranoid about cleanliness and hygiene. And this is a cash business. Last year, our car wash business did business worth about 46 million shillings. That's about 3 to 5 million shillings every month on sales. Okay? But how do you make sure that you have another branch in Mombasa, Nakuru, Kisumu, Eldoret, because these branches are needed. I can only do it if I sell the idea to somebody else that has $35,000 lying idle and we partner. And the good thing, for me, I am willing to talk to my, investors that joined us a long time ago so that they can give you the referral based on the line that you want to invest in. So basically, that is how our group looks like. We have diversified our business so that we make some money from selling cars. We make some money from lending through the circle. Of course, our investment cooperative is the one that fuels the business by getting us capital to go and invest. We have the driving school, and we have our car care business. So that gives you a picture of the services that we offer Kenyans and Kenyans in the diaspora. We help people to own cars, best cars at best prices. We sell good cars, and I can tell you that because I sit down with my procurement team, and I know the quality of vehicles that we buy, and I hope that you will have an opportunity to listen to some of the people here that have bought our vehicles. We help people to save up for their vehicles. We help people to finance their cars through the bank. There are people that are comfortable and can qualify to get loans from the bank. So we have partnerships with all the banks in Kenya so that we can be able to arrange financing for you. We can also help you to finance through our circle, but I would want to put a disclaimer there. Our circle is 6 years old this July. And circles are regulated, and that regulation is important in keeping the circle solid to make sure that the circle doesn't bite more than it can chew. So our circle right now only finances vehicles that are up to 2 million shillings. Perhaps when we do our AGM this year, we are going to expand that to 3 million shillings. Again, that is important to make sure that the money we receive from our investors, we don't put it at risk. So we can also help you clear your car from the port if you import on your own. We can help you invest in our model called import to sell. I will take you through it. And the model that Ambassador was talking about, we help you invest in what we call import to lease. And now we have a new product that we call fractional car ownership that I am going to touch on also. So our car ownership programs are therefore about 5 of them. You can buy in cash. We can take you to the bank. You can use Maridady circle financing. We also have Maridady FlexiPay, like that BAM I talked about, who is now retired in Kenya, where you say, where I am at, me stuck alone. The only thing I need is a platform that allows me to pay up for my vehicle. Then when I'm done paying, I will come and take my vehicle. We call it FlexiPay. You pay at your pace, okay? You can change the car at the end of the day if you want. It's a flexible model. You just pay up. The day umefikisha ile pesa ya kiwango nasikia iko sawa, you are at 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, you come to the showroom, you identify a vehicle that is within your budget. Good thing with cars, nobody can lie to you on the prices because you can always compare from one dealership to the other. Very, very easy. Then now we have fractional ownership. So FlexiPay looks like that. You can pay between 6 to 12 months, sometimes even up to 24 months, and you drive upon hitting an agreed target. Let me talk about fractional ownership. How many of you come to Kenya and sometimes you struggle with a vehicle to use? The other people never come to Kenya, or you come with your jets, or mpango ni gani hapo? Sawa. The Kamba say, nakuelewa, sindio? Now, we have a program for fractional ownership, and what this means, let me tell you why you can't get good cars when you come to Kenya. Sometimes you will be lucky, by the way, you will get a very good vehicle, isn't it? Then the next time you come, that vehicle is not available. Yeah? Another time you come, you're given a car, then somebody tells you you can only be with that vehicle for 1 week, 2 weeks. And the reason is that it goes back to capital. Okay? The guys who do car hire business in Kenya, how much money do you think they are going to have to buy vehicles? Is it possible that they are going to have 100 million, 20 million, 30 million, 40 million? The answer is no. So this person is going to buy 1, 2, or 3 cars. If you're lucky and you hire it when it's new, you will come back to America and tell people how Kenya has improved. Kenya has greatly improved. The problem is that when you come back in Christmas, now the vehicle has been hired to somebody who came from Germany, and now you have to use an older vehicle. So we sat with Jeremy and a few people, and we were in UK last August, and we conversed about fractional ownership. Now, we already have people in the diaspora who buy vehicles and keep them at home. Unanunua gari, unafunika na makaratasi, wakati umekuja Kenya, unaenda kufungua gari yako utumie. Isn't it? Wakati mwingine unakuta yule kazini yako ama brother yako mjanja, alienda akaiba funguo akaenda na gari ya. So unakuta mileage imetembea, gari yako haijafanywa service and all those things. I know these stories because I've heard them from people in the diaspora. When they come and tell me, Eric, I want you to sell my car. Because I had bought a car, I left it at home, and now that vehicle is being abused. I am not saying that you come from such a scenario. But I want to present to you this model because I feel it's easier, it's cheaper. And what we are doing is we are asking you to identify the vehicle that you would want to drive when you come to Kenya. So let's take an example. Say you want to be driving a Toyota RAV4. We all know the RAV4? Yeah? So the RAV4 back home, we import vehicles that are from 2017 going up, 7 years and younger. So this year, the oldest we can import is a 2017. For argument's sake, let's say we have imported a 2018 vehicle. It's going to cost us about 3.5 to 4 million shillings. Now, under fractional ownership, we are getting 4 people who would be wanting to drive a RAV4. And we tell them, contribute $10,000. That's a quarter of the value of the vehicle, isn't it? Then we will literally buy the RAV4 and keep it in our diaspora fleet, being owned by 4 people who have a right to access it for 2 months per year. Those are the statistics that we have done. We give you 2 months per year. When you come to Kenya, you use this car as if it is your car, as if you own it. The only thing that you will be paying is the insurance and the maintenance fee per year, which is not going to be more than $200, $300 per year. So when you come to Kenya, you can access the vehicle for 2 months. Nobody is going to ask you for payment because it is a vehicle that you have participated in procuring. Are we together? Now, this program is going to run for 2 to 3 years. So you sign a 2 to 3 year contract with us for fractional ownership. Now, the day you want to exit, because all our investment models have an opportunity for you to stay or exit every 2 years. So every 2 years, if you want to get your money back, you get your money back. You just need to give us 90 days notice. So if you want to exit, remember, logically, the vehicle we bought 2 years ago or 3 years ago, if we were to sell it, we can't sell it for the same value we bought it at, isn't it? True or false? So there is depreciation. So under the fractional ownership, the only thing we calculate for you at exit is your depreciation. However, the depreciation is predefined at entry. So kama unaingia kwa mpango ya RAV4, tutakwambia RAV4 iko na depreciation ya 3,500 per day. The days you used. So at 3 years, the system will calculate to say you used this car for 100 days. So 100 days by 3,500, how much money is that? How much is it? 350,000, isn't it? So we will deduct that 350,000 from the 10,000 that you invested, and we give you the balance if you want to exit. Now, you can still use that balance as a deposit now to own your car fully if you want to buy a vehicle from us. And I think the people I have discussed the model with, because we have people that have already subscribed, are very, very happy with that model, and I'll be happy to give you closer information as we go on. So why invest with us? We have over 15 years of experience. We give handsome and sustainable returns. I like to say we are not a get-rich business. We don't, it's not like playing the lottery. As we are doing practical business, we've done all the math. We want to promise what we can keep. But our returns are handsome, and most of the times they will play between 15% to 18% based on the amount of money that you want to invest and the period of investment. Okay? So those are details that we can discuss. Number 3 is that it's a turnkey smart investment. Turnkey means, in business, it means it's hands-off for you. It's like turning on an engine, and then the engine runs. Because as a business, we have a lot of investment in terms of teams, in terms of brand building, in terms of research and development of products. And when you come to Kenya, you will be able to see that. So for you, you just put in your money and your money works for you, literally speaking. Because for us, what we need is the charcoal to cook, the money to do business. Number 4, which is one of our company values, is that we have win-win impactful investment for diasporians and Kenyans. Look, we get money from you, but we use this money to lend vehicles out. Now, if you give us expensive money, it means we have to go and exploit somebody to give you big profits, isn't it? Now, that's not win-win. What we have tried to do is to balance between the people that give us the money to do the business and the people that buy the vehicles from us on credit, which is our responsibility. If you come to Kenya today, we have a lot of credit businesses from South Africa. I wish Ted was here, he would have given you the statistics. But if you look at their business models and the exploitation they are taking Kenyans through, the people who borrow the motorbikes from them, the vehicles from them, if you go to the auction yards, those auction yards are always full of those vehicles being auctioned. Now, as we would want to do a business that helps our investor move a step forward, but at the same time, it doesn't make our customer poor. True or false? And that produces a business model that is win-win and that is impactful. Number 5, which is very, very important, is that our business models are properly thought out. And I will be very excited to receive your questions. We are properly thought out on how you enter, on how you stay, and on how you exit your money. Because sometimes there are investments that are very easy to enter, isn't it? I mean, it's very easy for you to put in your money, but it is very difficult for you to get out your money, okay? And you will notice one thing, and particularly as we grow older, you want to balance your investments, isn't it? You want to have both fixed investments, but you also want to be liquid. Because sometimes we say, when you need cash, you need what? Cash. When you need cash, you need cash. A title deed will not replace your need for cash. So as we present to you business models that put money in your pocket, because we are a trading business. So we want to go and be your steward, use the money to do the trade, and be able to deliver the profits to you. Then of course, we secure your capital and we give you guaranteed returns. And our contracts are transparent. If you want to invest in any business model in Maridady, you can ask for our contract, you can go and read it with your husband, you can go and read it with your lawyer. The day you're satisfied with every single clause, you come back to us and sign the contract. Are we together? Yeah. And that I can stand here and confirm to you. A few more slides. So these are some of the awards that we have received from the country. We have very many of them. I just put three of them. This shows one of the programs that we run in the country for Inua Boy Child. I talked about it when we were talking about the impact that we have back home. So now I want to show you what Ambassador wanted me to show you so that you understand. And after this, I have only 2 slides and then we take the questions. So here, it's numbers. This is called an infographic. Hey, that proves my degree is legit. Don't you think so? Unajua Kenya si kila degree iko legit, eh? So this is an infographic. For me, I say, don't invest in our business if you don't understand it A to Z. And I'm willing, and we are willing to take time to train you on how our business works until you understand it. And in our contract, one of the clauses say that you confirm that you have been trained on our business model and you understand it. So can I train you for 5 minutes, 2 minutes, so that you understand, isn't it? So now, this is what we call smart leasing. You all know that you can build a house in Kenya and get an agent who will get you a tenant, isn't it? And the agent will be collecting rent from the tenant, anakuja anakulipa, okay? Now, this model works the same way. But instead of building a house, you are investing in a car. And now with this car, we are going to get you a tenant. So the tenant is the member of our circle. So we are going to give him the car. He will be paying for the car on the monthly basis, and we transmit that money to you. But there are a few things that change because a car is not a completely durable asset, isn't it? It depreciates. And this is why this infographic is important, because it gives me an opportunity to introduce this word here that we are calling the residue value. So I want us to take an example that if you invest in a car worth 1 million shillings, I will take it to the circle and I will give it to a member who pays me anywhere between 25 all the way to 40,000 shillings. It all depends on how much deposit he had paid. But regardless of how much he pays me, remember, with you, I need to have a fixed contract, isn't it? Just as if you give an agent your house and you agree that the house is 20,000 shillings, you don't care whether he gives it to his girlfriend who pays 15,000, isn't it? Or to a true customer who is paying 40, isn't it? Wewe unaitisha ile pesa mlikubaliana na agent. So in this model, when you give me 1 million shillings, I will buy a car worth the 1 million shillings, and I will give it to somebody. And for you, you will be getting 37,500 per month. And that amount, you're supposed to get it for 24 months. So somebody with a calculator, can you please tell us how much does it become, in case there is a mistake on my infographic? It's 900,000, right? But remember, we still have your old car, isn't it? So tumekulipa 900,000, lakini tuko na gari yako mzee, isn't it? So for us to have adequately compensated you, we have to pay for the value of the old car. So we have to preset the value of that old vehicle. And that is what in leasing is called residue value. So in our case, we have set the residue value at 40%. So at the end of the contract, I will pay you another 40% of the money you invested, which is 400,000. So how much is your total income? 1.3. How much had you invested? How much is your profit? Clap for yourselves. You're good students of mathematics. So people ask me, so where did you get the 400,000 from? Do you have that question? Now, remember, my member of the circle, before I gave him the car, he had given me a deposit of 300 to 500,000. isn't it? Now, because he has finished paying, I need to transfer this car to him. Otherwise, he will say I conned him, isn't it? So I will take his deposit and pay him so that I can transfer the vehicle to him. So you have received your 1.3, but the person has received a vehicle. So we have separated the two of you. Are we together? So you now can decide whether out of the 1.3, Maridady did a good job, so you want to give them back 1 million shillings and you pocket your 300,000. Are we together? And I am very excited about this business model because my biggest investor under it is here in the US. He has invested in 23 vehicles as a couple. Okay? And those vehicles are being driven by real people. And me and Jeremy will play the testimonials for you in a few slides when we take the testimonials from the people who are here. Model number 2, have you understood model number 1? I come to model number 2, we call it import to sell. So here, we put your money exclusively in importing and selling vehicles. Now, this changes our cash flows. So our cash flows will not work the same way it works in leasing. So under this model, we are importing a car, we are selling it. Now, most of us here are Kikuyus, isn't it? So nito ihoro wa camera. Nito ihoro wa camera. Kana tu aligana iro. Boso camera kia boso na mieri gana. I can see some young ladies there looking at me like, what are you talking about? Yeah? Camera kia boso na mieri tatu. Kanena. Isn't it? So here we look at how long does it take us to import a car and sell. So our statistics are mostly, it doesn't always work like clockwork, but mostly it takes us 4 months. 2 months to import, 2 months to sell. Okay? So we structure our profit payment for you for 4 months. So every 4 months, we will import, we will sell, we will give you 5% profit. So that becomes 50,000. 50,000, 50,000, 50,000. So we hold the 1 million, we keep importing and selling, but we keep paying you the profit. I like one shosho from Nyeri who told me, kuwo nota kumunegera goko gagiraga matubi. And I told her, for sure you have put it right. Wewe unegere goko yaku niye kunegagira ki? No akijulia. No ndafatara goko yako nikagira. Ngumrai wafatara goko yaku ni ukagira. So again in this contract, you sign for 2 years. So in 2 years, if you don't want to continue, you give us 3 months notice and we will pay your last profit inclusive of your capital. Last slide is something I'm very excited about that we are working on right now. I am very happy to announce that now through our investment cooperative, we have a license from the government to mobilize money to set up an assembly for vehicles, motorbikes and tricycles in Kenya. And we are not talking stories. The construction of the assembly is already going on in Nakuru. This year we will launch our motorbikes and our tuk-tuks. Now we call them last mile vehicles. Pikipiki na nini? Tuk-tuk. The market is very big, not just in Kenya, but also in the surrounding countries. So in the next 2, 3, 4 years, we are looking at expanding Maridady beyond Kenya so that we can serve Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, which is one of the reasons why we have set up our assembly plant in Nakuru. And we have a very strong Chinese companies partnering with us to enable us to assemble these vehicles. I was in China in January, and I will be going to China again in April to conclude the contract that we are supposed to do so that we start getting that market. We have needs of these vehicles, these motorbike, these tuk-tuks in Kenya. We have a problem. We need them. People want them. People want to buy them. People need credit. And I'm here to tell you that if you have idle money, we can be able to use that money to empower our people back home. We need to move the conversation between Kenya and diaspora from that dependency. And we start talking about empowerment and partnership. That should be the way forward. That your brother at home, how can you empower him? Your sister at home, how can you empower them? To ensure that instead of them asking you for a handout every single day, there is a time that they will also stand on their own. As Maridady Motors, we want to lead this journey from the front. And I want to tell you one thing. This is a developed world. So you will find that there is very few businesses in an economy like this that you can do with 1 million shillings. Isn't it? Kenya is developing. Your $10,000, your $5,000 can go a long way in transforming the communities back home. But guess what? We don't want your money for free. I tell people I am a businessman, I'm not a beggar. For us, we discuss partnership, we discuss value, we go to the jungle, we hunt elephants and we share the loot, the kill together, and everybody goes home happy. Thank you so much. End of my presentation.
Bwana, hiyo kizungu, my friend. When I grow up, I want to be like you, brother. Pigani makofi mazuri jameni. So now, at least najua tumeelewa vizuri. Bwana Chairman, Kim. Yeah, we are getting there. So kuna mtu ako na swali ama hukushika vizuri, tunaweza elezea hapo vizuri. Kuna mtu ako na swali? Yes, please. Let us have that mic, please. Tupate huko, tukuwe na mtu atatukimbizia mic huko na kule. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. It was very clear and it was good. Yeah, so my question is, in case I buy that car and I give it back to you and it has an accident and it is written off, am I going to be paid everything?
Okay. Thank you, ma'am, for that question. So this is what we have done. All the vehicles that we give out, remember, the member of the circle does not understand the story of where the money came from. Are we together? Yes. So yeye anajua ameingia sako ya Maridady, Maridady wamempatia gari aende akafanya nini? Akafanya biashara zake. Mahali pesa zilitoka yeye hajui.